Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 6 English lesson on subject and predicate. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts, grade 6, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of subject and predicate. All right. So our chapter is subject and predicate. Our subject is English Language Arts. Grade 6, and our lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of subject and predicate is to identify the complete subject or complete predicate of a sentence, and the other one is, or the next lesson would be then to identify the simple subject or simple predicate of the sentence. All right. So, when it comes to subject as well as predicate, right? So, we said every sentence has a complete subject and every sentence has a complete predicate. The complete subject, it tells us either who or what is doing something. And then we also have it tells us who or what is doing something. And it is the simple subject plus any other word that describes or modifies it. And if we look at our example, so before we go into our example, we say that a subject or every sentence has a complete subject and every sentence has a complete predicate, right? So the complete subject, it tells us either who or what is doing something. It is the simple subject plus any other word that describes or modifies it. And if we look at an example, it says she sleeps late on weekends. So now we need to ask ourselves who sleeps late on weekends? And then we will say she. So she is our subject that sleeps late on weekends. The next one says her best friend sleeps late on the weekends. So we need to ask ourselves who sleeps late on the weekends, right? Because that is our subject. So who? Because it's either who or what sleeps late on a weekend. And we can say her best friend sleeps late on a weekend. And if we look at both of those sentences, right? Both of the sentences are complete subjects because it tells us who sleeps late on the weekend. It's either just the subject, which is she or the person's name, or any other words that describes or modifies it, which is her best friend. And then we also have a complete predicate. And in the complete predicate, it tells us what the subject is doing. The subject is the person or the thing that is doing something. So now we need to say, what is the person or thing doing? And with a simple predicate, right? With a complete predicate, right? It is the simple predicate plus any other words that describes or modifies it. And an example is her best friend sleeps. So now the question is, what is the subject doing? Her best friend is the subject, and the predicate is sleeps. Because now, what is her best friend doing? We would say sleeps. The next sentence is her best friend sleeps late on the weekends. So now the question is also, what is her best friend? What is the subject doing? What is her best friend doing? She sleeps late on the weekends. All right. So which means that the complete predicate, it tells us what her best friend does. It tells us what the subject does. It tells us what the person or thing does within a sentence. And when it comes to a subject and a predicate, right? We said every sentence has a complete subject and every sentence has a complete predicate. The complete subject, once again, it tells us who or tells us what is doing something. And with the complete subject, it is the simple subject plus it is any other words that describes or modifies it. And then we have a complete predicate. And the complete predicate tells us what the subject is doing, whether it is the person or the thing, but what is the subject doing? And with the complete predicate, right, it is the simple predicate plus any other words that describes or that modifies it, right? All right, so now we're going to a test where we're going to identify, we're going to have A plus students.ca where we're going to identify the complete subject or predicate within the sentence. All right, so we already explained what a complete subject is and what a complete predicate is. So now we're going to select two words that make up the complete subject. It says many employers issue paychecks directly into employees' bank accounts. So many employers issue paychecks directly into employees' bank accounts. We need to select the two words that make up the complete subject. And if we select the two subjects, right? Or if we select the subject, then we can say our subject is many employers. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one says we need to select two words that make up the complete subject that tells us either who or what is doing something. It says the correspondent filed a story from Somalia about the food shortage. So the correspondent filed a story from Somalia about the food shortage. So we need to select the two words that make up the complete subject. And if we were to select the correct words, we would say the subject is the correspondent because the correspondent, but the correspondent. And now let's go to our test where we are going to identify the complete subject or the complete predicate within the sentence. All right. We now need to select three words that make up the complete subject. Three words that make up the complete subject. It says the band members caused confusion by arriving at the venue early. So the band members caused confusion by arriving at the venue early. We need to select the three words. Is it band members caused or the band members? All right, and if we select the three words, we will say the band members. The band members is our answer. We now need to select six words that make up the complete predicate that tells us what the subject is doing. Is it friction between the two brothers, or is it cause friction between the two brothers? Within the sentence, a bad business deal caused friction between the two brothers. So a bad business deal caused friction between the two brothers. Is it friction between the two brothers? Option one. Or option two, cause friction between the two brothers. And if we were to select the correct option, we would say cause friction between the two brothers. That is our predicate. We need to select two words that make up the complete subject. Who or what is doing something. Is it? It says adult cougars hunt deer and other mammals. So they hunt deers and other mammals. If we look at the two words that make up a complete subject, is it adult cougars or cougars hunt? All right, and if we select the two words to make up the subject, we will say it is adult cougars. All right. All right, the next one says select six words that make up the complete predicate. It says Debbie pours sand through a plastic funnel. Is it option one, which is pours sand through a plastic funnel, or option two, sand through a plastic funnel? Which one is correct? And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say it's option one, which is pours sand through a plastic funnel. It's option one. All right, let's do one more. It says select the four words that make up a complete predicate. Four words. My family enjoys having lively debates. Is it option one, enjoys lively debates, or option two, family enjoys lively debates? Four predicates. And if we were to choose the correct option, we would say it is enjoys having lively debates. All right. Yes, option one is correct. Well done. The next one is we need to identify the simple subject or the simple predicate. So the simple subject or the simple predicate. So when it comes to a simple subject, right, or a simple predicate, each sentence has a subject and a predicate, right? And a simple subject, it tells us who or what is doing something, right? But now it is just the subject noun or the pronoun without any other words that describes or modifies. So it's only that subject, only the noun, only the pronoun, not with all the other added things to it, right? For example, Jennifer sleeps late on weekends. And if we were to identify our simple subject, right? Only the noun or pronoun without any other words, we can say it is Jennifer. Then it says her best friend sleeps late on weekends. And remember, we said not with all the other words, just the noun or the pronoun. So we will say it is friend. Mrs. Peterson sleeps late on the weekends. And we will say Mrs. Peterson. And then the same with the predicate, right? Simple predicate, it tells us what the subject is doing. It is just the verb, just the action word, not with any other things that describes it. For example, her best friend sleeps. So sleeps is something that the best friend does. Her best friend sleeps late on the weekends. So sleeps only, not with all the other added things, right? Let us do one activity and then we're going to our test. So we now need to select a simple subject, only the noun or pronoun. It says Rena moistened her washcloth. So Rena moistened her washcloth. And if we were to select our subject, we would say only the noun, which is Rena, is our subject. The next one says, I limit my time watching TV each day. We need to select the subject, the simple subject, only the noun or the pronoun that tells us who or what is doing something. And if we were to select the subject, we would say I is our subject. All right, so I is our subject. Now let's go to our test, where we are going to identify the simple subject or simple predicate within a sentence. And remember, it is only the noun or only the pronoun, not all the other added things. All right, so now we need to select the simple predicate. The predicate is the verb, right? It says a true professional arrives at work on time. A true professional arrives at work on time. We need to select the predicate. So the predicate is only the verb. Is it arrives or is it work? And if we were to select the correct predicate, we will say it is arrives because it's the verb, it's the action, right? All right. The next one says we need to select the predicate. The predicate is also, once again, the verb, the action, right? Simple predicate, only the verb, not all the other added things. The snake by the rock pile retreated. The snake by the rock pile retreated. Is it pile or is it retreated? Only the verb, pile or retreated. And if we were to select the correct option, we would say it is retreated. All right, let's do the last one. It says we need to select the simple predicate. Victor wipes the perspiration from his brow. So Victor wipes the perspiration from his brow. Is it Victor or is it wipes? So Victor or wipes. And if we were to select the correct option, we would say it is wipes because it's only the verb. All right. So this is now the end of our lesson on subject and predicate. We said all sentences needs to have a complete subject or complete predicate, right? Subject tells us who or what is doing the action, and the predicate tells us the action that the person is doing. All right, so this is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, grade 6, for joining our class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good evening, brother. Till next time, goodbye.